On the road to the Final Four, we join you tonight from Dayton, Ohio. This is where the madness officially begins every year. And the matchup, 16 seeds going head-to-head. Texas Southern against North Carolina Central in the West region. The winner will advance. This is the first four presented by Northwestern Mutual. Nashville is the next destination for the survivor of this one, and Xavier, the #1 seed, will be waiting in the first round. Welcome courtside, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spanarkel. Allie LaForce joins us as well. Great to be with you tonight here in Dayton. Always a terrific scene.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
you know, Jimmy, you think back with these two teams, a roller coaster ride for both of these squads to get to this point. We'll start with Texas Southern. They began the season 0-13. That's not a misprint. First 13 games were on the road. They didn't win one of them. Worst start in the history for an NCAA tournament team, but they rally. They finished the year 15-19, only team in the field under 500. They win the SWAC tournament championship for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons. They've got a guard that really makes things go for this squad, and it's Trey Jefferson.
And overall, and this Texas Southern team just likes to go up and down the floor. They have a very quick pace to what they try to basically play, mostly in the transition game on the offensive end. But when you watch Jefferson, he's got a pull-up jump shot. But what I really love about his game, he keeps the pressure on you with the basketball. So as a defender, you have to keep him in front of you. You can't let him get to the basket, where he's very, very effective. His other backcourt guy, Dante Clark, 19 points a game he averaged on the year, arguably playing his best basketball of the season, coming off a 22-point average in the tournament. He's a slasher and likes to get to the line.
Meanwhile, for North Carolina Central, they come out of the MEAC. It was a process this year to the point where there were questions along the way whether they would emerge out of that conference. They did. The offense for this team runs through the big man. It's Rashawn Davis.
Yeah, and it's a much slower pace that they like to play, and Davis will get his touches at 6'9", about 240 pounds. He's a strong guy who likes to do his work before he catches the ball. You'll notice on these little clips, he's always in great position, catches, and then delivers with his footwork. So obviously he's a rebounder also because he's in close. In one of their tournament games, he had 20 rebounds, 9 off the offensive glass. The biggest part of their offense may be the decision-making of their backcourt. Both freshmen, Jordan Perkins on the left, Reggie Gardner on the right. Make sure you don't turn the basketball over on this big stage.
One of these two teams will be winning tonight in the NCAA tournament. We've got Texas Southern and North Carolina Central. Starting lineups, opening tip from the Big Dance when we come back.
I gotta pack my suitcase because I'm heading to Dayton, Ohio. I'm about those Tigers.
The Eagles are going dancing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's got to be a 9 or 10. Everything. Attitude, effort, chemistry. We got to play in this zone right here. We can't be here. We got to be right here. Everything got to be 9 out of 10. That means everything you do tonight, guys, is 9 out of 10. We go 9 and 10, we got a chance to win.
Inside the locker room with Mike Davis, Texas Southern head coach. He's accustomed to this. He's been to the tournament with 3 different programs, Indiana and Alabama Birmingham. It is the first four, Texas Southern and North Carolina Central. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, Allie LaForce.
Hey, Ian. Hey, Jim. Now, when you hear a team started 0-13, you don't think, wow, that must have been a really great experience. When in fact, it was the best thing that could have possibly happened to this Texas Southern team. It was unprecedented. No team had ever started the season 0-13 and made the tournament. In fact, the team with the longer losing streak in the history of college basketball was 1955. It was Bradley, so it's been a very long time. But the system works perfectly. Coach told us, I want to have my team in the best possible position in March, so I want to put them in the most difficult position to start the year. They played the likes of Gonzaga, Ohio State, Syracuse, Kansas. It was the toughest non-conference schedule in the country. It paid off at the end of the year, winning 7 straight, and they're hoping it pays off tonight.
And Allie, double-digit wins in all 3 of their conference tournament games, so they come in hot. Texas Southern with Jefferson, Bruce, McClellan, Clark, and Salmon starting 5 for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. Perkins, Guerra, Gardner, Douglas, and Davis. And the head coach for North Carolina Central, Lavelle Moten, now in his 9th year as the head man and looking sharp with the Salmon blazer. They're set for action. Tim Nestor, Chuck Jones, Rob Kuhneman, our officiating crew underway here in Dayton. The first of 2 games with Syracuse and Arizona State coming up. A couple things you're looking for here early, Jimmy.
The one thing I'm looking for early on is the pace of this game. Texas Southern likes to go up and down in transition. It's key for NC Central not to turn the basketball over and allow them to go up and down.
North Carolina Central controlling the tip. Davis, the back end, bullies inside, doesn't get the roll. Rebound, won't go down. Douglas had a crack at it. Ball moves around now for Texas Southern. Whoa, wild shot. Nearly goes for Dante Clark.
And that just shows you the style that they like to play. Now, that was a little out of control to start things off, but get it up and down, and we saw already how NC Central likes to get the ball down to Davis.
3rd NCAA tournament appearance for North Carolina Central.
He won't make himself big there.
That gets the roll. Eagles are on the board with Sean Davis averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds per game. Transfer from Kent State, the junior from Chicago. Texas Southern on the back end, a little bit out of control, and Clark will clear into the hands of 5'7", 150-pound Trey Jefferson.
Let's see if he tries to go by somebody.
Jefferson, no-look feed. On the ball fake, Clark. Shot clock's down to 3, down to 2, leans in, and he traveled.
Yep, little extra step just then. You see the isolation, what they're trying to do with Clark, get him the basketball where he can effectively down low. And look at Davis with his big body, and he gets it exactly where he wants it. That's twice early on in this game that he's been able to post up and clearly get the shot that he wants to get, even though he missed his first one.
Led the MEAC at field goal percentage, 67%. He was number 6 in the nation in that category. Got a touch on the inside, the back end by Douglas. Jump up goes Zachary Douglas, the senior.
So if he's going to get the catch there, watch for Davis with a little kick pass, because they double teamed him or tried to just then. So his job is going to have to be watch for that double team and then kick it across to Davis.
Extra feed on the inside. Bunny doesn't go for Salmon. Work it to the other side, and Guerra rejected. And a travel off the rebound action. It's going the other way.
Check in for Texas Southern.
So we'll get an early substitution. Texas Southern will make a change with Trayvon Reed, the junior big man.
Just a mere 7 feet 2 inches tall.
Averages just under 3 blocks per game out of Mobile, Alabama. Played at Auburn as a freshman. 4-0 lead for North Carolina Central. High arcing delivery, Derek Bruce.
See, and that's one of the things you need early on. He's been playing very good basketball through his tournament and a very good shooter at 41%. So Texas Southern needed to see just a shot go down to make sure they're pretty comfortable now. Maybe that'll change their approach.
Tigers cut it to 1, in and out from the outside. Gardner missed it, and the rebound. Jefferson is a blur.
Yeah, well defended by Reed, too. He was a factor defensively.
Good first step. Clark zigzags, swat it.
And Davis got a hold of that one right there, and it'll come back this other way with NC Central. Good effort defensively there by Davis.
Davis averaging a block per game. He gets one early here with North Carolina Central in front, 4-3.
Played well in the MEAC tournament where he scored over 4 points. You know, in 4 games he had 50 points, so he was very, very good. But the rebounding was just phenomenal, where he averaged 12 rebounds per game in that tournament.
Yep, it was a double-double for him, 12.3 points to go along with the rebounding numbers. They finished 6th in the MEAC at 9-7, and that was part of what Lavelle Moulton talked about. It took a while for this team to take hold. They're starting 2 freshmen in the backcourt with Jordan Perkins and Reggie Gardner Jr. The inexperience, but it's working and clicking now, creating space, and it's Davis on the interior.
You know, when Davis catches the basketball, first of all, I've touched on it already, he works before he gets the ball in his hands, and he's got a big guy at 7'2" behind him, and he's so quick to turn and shoot at the same time.
Bruce splits defenders, and a foul called on the floor. That won't count for Derek Bruce.
So look at the big fella here, right? He's got a big guy behind him, and watch how fast it goes up. It doesn't even allow the defender, Reed, to get ready to go. Watch how quickly the shot's going up at the same time he's jumping, and it throws Reed's timing off from a defensive standpoint.
Get it outside for Trayvon Reed.
We'll see if Reed adjusts He gets a little deflection once or twice in the middle of the floor.
Dante Clark. Now it's Jefferson. Jefferson turns the corner, lays it in, and a foul. Trey Jefferson, the sophomore from Milwaukee, with a chance at a three-point play.
And watch the way he gets his body ahead of the defender. See right there, his shoulders and his head are in front of the defender. And once you get that inside, going to the basket like that, you are directing traffic. And he actually comes down and just barely gets that shot off because he was losing his balance. But a terrific drive, and just continue to watch for him. Very, very shifty with his moves in terms of watching the defender and knowing how to beat him to the basket.
23.4 points per game. That's the highest scoring average for a player 5'7" or shorter since Earl Boykins.
Whoa, there's a player for you.
1998, Eastern Michigan. You and I got to know Earl a little bit when he was a member of the Nets.
And Jefferson can go, though. 20-plus points 19 times this season. When he goes, they go.
Half-court set. Davis gives up his dribble. 7 to shoot. Here's Gardner on a spin. Shot clock down to 3.
Does he know it?
Oh, a bailout on the outside. Zachary Douglas was not going to get a shot off in time.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why Clark left his feet out there.
Foul on Dante Clark. We're tied early in Dayton. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins Friday on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Tied at 6. North Carolina Central controls it after the foul was called. Pablo Rivas is in for the Eagles. Here's Perkins, 9 to shoot, the dribble drive. Perkins, acrobatic play, going to the rim.
Yeah, once again, Reed, 7 feet 2 inches tall. He's kind of playing passively back there instead of going after the shot. And just kind of the offensive guys realize his size is in there, but they're kind of fading away from him to get his shot off.
Perkins, a savvy lead guard as a freshman out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Jump shot missed from the side by McClellan.
Keep in mind that Reed blocks 3 shots per game.
Rivas at a travel.
So watch Perkins comes across the corner here, and bang, he's going to reach by the big guy who's a shot blocker, but notice what you have to do. He's taking a swipe at him instead of stepping across one more time to get a better angle defensively to shut that move down.
Yeah, we talked about that challenging schedule for Texas Southern. They played Ohio State, Syracuse, Kansas, Clemson, Gonzaga, TCU.
It's one of the craziest schedules I've ever heard from a competitive standpoint in the first 13 games. Wow, there you go.
Swatted! Trayvon Reed erases the Perkins shot.
Well, you knew it was going to come sooner or later. They had some success in a couple of moves. First guy helps out defensively, gets in the way just enough. And you notice defensively also how they will back off and let him do his job blocking the shot rather than reaching in and fouling with the first defender.
Robert Lewis is in for Texas Southern. Shot clock at 18 after the block. 8-6 lead for North Carolina Central. Davis on a handoff for Perkins. 9 to shoot. 2-man game. The back in. Davis turns. Nice clutch. And it goes down. Rashawn Davis has the touch.
Yeah, one of the things about him is that, as I mentioned, to catch and go with it. Nice little drive to the hoop.
The blow by doesn't go for Jefferson. Out of bounds, and Texas Southern will retain it.
Davis has gotten his touches. He's 3 for 5.
Well, for Mike Davis, 8th overall appearance as a head coach in the NCAA tournament. Of course, that run that Indiana had in 2002. Mike Davis played at Alabama under C.M. Newton and Wimp Sanderson. 57-year-old has felt right at home in Houston, Texas as the head coach of the Tigers. Wild attempt. Clark anticipated a call.
Yeah, just lost the basketball going up, searching for a body.
Gardner now searching for someone to pass to. Larry McKnight Jr., built like a football player, and rims out.
And I was watching him yesterday shoot the ball. As that shot just then, not only did he shoot a soft shot, the most rotation on it of just about anyone I've ever seen.
Dante Clark is fouled. He'll head to the free throw line with 13:44 to go in this first half. North Carolina Central with a 10-6 lead on Texas Southern.
And
Dante Clark at the line shooting.
And you can see with Texas Southern, even though they're only 2 and 7 coming down the floor, they know they can get down the court in a hurry and try to get to the free throw line, just like Clark did. Bust it down the floor and see if something happens.
76% shooter. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Dante Clark transferred from UMass. He's a graduate student. Over 1,800 points, 500 rebounds, 300 assists in his collegiate career.
In his junior year, 16 points for the Minutemen, so obviously a guy who can score. Just under 19 points this season, playing very, very well. Also in the tournament with 22 points.
2-point lead for North Carolina Central. Jumper doesn't go from Gardner. And here comes Texas Southern. Bruce.
See how they try to isolate by spreading the floor? It's called speed and space. Space the floor and then use your speed. I guess it could be speed and space.
Or space and speed. Either way, I think it works, Jimmy.
As long as it works on the offensive end, they're happy.
How about this matchup? Jefferson swings it. Corner pop, Clark. No good. Rebound snatched. And Gardner pushes ahead for Perkins. Perkins gets around the defender.
Oh, isolation. Oh, I should have gone with that one.
Kick out, Reed from the outside. Rivas doesn't get the roll. Reed working hard on the interior, and he's called for the foul.
I know Reed only gets about 5 points a game, but that was a great opportunity to continue like Davis had been doing, to get the ball in the blocks and go after it. Coach Moten would really like to see that post up.
Well, one thing about North Carolina Central, we asked Lavelle Moten, tell us about your rotation. He said, we don't have one. We go off feel.
Yeah.
Whatever's working, we go with that. He'll mix and match. He'll change personnel. He'll look for the right combinations in game.
You know what that translates to? Play-by-play guy's nightmare.
Thanks for being concerned about me, Jimmy. Meanwhile, Texas Southern, they don't go deep,
but they go fast.
Shot clock down to 14. Clark the pull-up pop. Rims, no good.
And the second time he's searching a foul there. Just go up and shoot the basketball. Let the foul and the officials take care of the next move.
Lavelle Moten, 43 years old, coaching at his alma mater. He is the #3 all-time leading scorer in North Carolina Central history. Tremendous story of what this team has done. They moved into the Division I ranks in 2011, 2012. They're in their 3rd NCAA tournament appearance, all under Moten, 2014, 2017, and this year. They lost to UC Davis in the first 4 a year ago, 67-63.
I mentioned to him yesterday, there's another team from Durham in the NCAA tournament.
You had to get a Duke mention in there, didn't you?
Well, we're going to hear some Syracuse mentions later, I'm sure, for you.
So it's a 2-point lead for North Carolina Central. Texas Southern has now gone 4 minutes without a field goal. Trayvon Reed back in for the Tigers. North Carolina Central this year, just to compare it to Texas Southern, they played only one major conference school, and that was Illinois. They lost 86-73 on November 24th.
There you go.
Another block.
Yep.
It's Reed again. And it's out of bounds with 11:54 to play in this first half. 2-point lead, North Carolina Central in front. We welcome you back to the First Four, presented by Northwestern Mutual here in Dayton. Tournament summary: North Carolina Central, first team to play in back-to-back First Fours. Texas Southern, we mentioned their start, 0-13, second longest losing streak ever by an NCAA tournament team. And this is the 120th all-time NCAA tournament game to be held here at Dayton, and many more to come. They're doing major renovations here to this arena. It holds 13,435. Last night, this place was rocking.
It really was.
For UCLA St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, great atmosphere. Rivas picked up that last foul. He's a guy off the bench who does plenty of good things.
Lamont Walker is in for Texas Southern. Highest scoring team in the SWAC. We just haven't seen the offense yet. Off the window. crafty play by Jefferson.
Sure was, and it all started with that little hesitation and delay at about the free throw lane, and boy, did he ever get guys to just flat out freeze and watch him. You can't just look at him, you have to try to guard him.
Raekwon Harney is in for North Carolina Central, as is Brandon Goldsmith. Hard drive, look out. You don't want to get in front of Larry McKnight Jr. and a turnover.
Yes, 6'4", 230. Jeez, little hesitation, and look at everybody watch him there. Just too quick. Little scoop off the dribble off the floor. The quickest way to get it there, go right from the dribble right to the top of the backboard.
Close relationship between Mike Davis and Lavelle Moten. Moten told us that Davis is one of his mentors. He's known him for 10 years. He leans on him for advice. They actually spoke on the phone on Saturday after they won their respective conference tournaments and congratulated one another. Up top, the slam! Trayvon Reed on a special delivery by Jefferson.
Jefferson just reading it. I think people are laying back off Jefferson now, thinking he's going to drive it to the basket. An exceptionally timed play for Reed to use his size over the top.
And Texas Southern has taken the lead 12-10. When they spoke to one another, they said, we're not going to play one another.
Oh, yeah?
The pairings came out, and here they are in Dayton. Shot clock at 5. Harney, the ball fake. The fade away, doesn't go. Rebound, Reed taps it to himself. Leak out. Jefferson attacks the rim, and he lays it in.
Nice job by Reed, though, getting the defensive glass and kicking it out. He may have gotten away with a little bit of a travel just then, but he released the ball pretty quickly.
It's an 8-0 run for the Tigers.
And just to tag your coach's story just then, both of those coaches were sitting out here before the game for about 30 to 35 minutes chatting. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
The circle by Harney, switching hands, and a foul called on the move towards the rim.
So let's go over the top, a little bit of a screen out front, well-designed play. And watch the big guy just get a nice lofted pass, a little behind. Then you get a scorer like Jefferson in the open floor. There's not a whole lot you can do because he looks over his right shoulder to make sure he still has the angle.
Jefferson called for the foul. North Carolina Central has missed its last 6 shots.
Watch for Rivas, he's pretty good in these situations.
The floater, no. Rebound snatched on the inside, and Davis with the stick back.
Pretty good, well-designed play just then to get Rivas involved. He's coming off a nice tournament where he's the most outstanding player, so he's been playing his best basketball as of late, too.
Jump shot doesn't go for Bruce. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay right here at the 9:39 mark as we check in with Allie LaForce.
Hey guys, Coach Davis had a great sense of urgency when he was talking to his team, and it obviously paid off with that little run that they went on there, but his biggest concern was rebounding, as we just saw NC Central get another second chance point. 4 out of their 12 are now second chance opportunities, but he also said go under the screen. They're 0-3 from the three-point line. There's no need for us to try to get over.
They're actually allowing 79.7 points per game. That's the most for a tournament team since UCLA in 1998. A lot of that has to do with the points they gave up in the first part of the schedule, first 13 games. Jumper runs out for Jefferson. Offensive board and a reload for Texas Southern. Lining it up, Bruce, and he knocks it down. It's a 3.
That reload took all of 4 seconds to get a shot off. Once you get that second chance, it's very difficult to locate shooters in the open floor. Good response by Texas Southern. That just shows you how they want to play.
5-point lead, Texas Southern. Davis banks it in. Davis now 5 of 7 from the field. The rest of the team is 2 of 13.
And how about McKnight? McKnight has decided that he could go by people as they settle into this little bit of a switch out front, man-to-man defense.
Clark gives it up for Bruce.
They're giving the impression that it's a zone, but it's really a man-to-man.
The spin, kick out. Shot clock is down to 7. Baseline drive, tip to the outside, and claimed by Perkins, but he loses it.
Shot clock is winding down.
Jumper, Jefferson, side rim. Jefferson, smallest man on the court, gets it to go, and a foul.
And when that ball came to half court just then, there was not possession, so the clock kept drifting down, and they took advantage of it. Texas Southern, aware of that, got that first pass to the corner so they could get a quick shot off with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. So you see that quick shot, and where is everybody? Nobody's home at all.
And the foul called on Rivas. So a free throw here for Trey Jefferson. 8th in the nation in scoring. came in 16 points shy of 1,000, and he's only a sophomore. 20-14, Texas Southern. Gardner gives it up, and a slam. Sean Davis on the roll to the rim.
Yeah, interesting enough, Mike Davis just brought Reed back to the scorer's table to check in. He's one play late right there because they need him on the floor with the way the offensive rebounding and design of their offense going to the hoop has been.
Davis has scored 12 of the 16 points. High screen, and it's going the other way.
Yeah, never settled in.
So North Carolina Central will get it back. Texas Southern signs of life.
There you go.
Strength from the
baby.
little man.
You know, Texas Southern up 4 points right now, but Davis, if you have a guy who can shoot 67% when he touches it down low, I think you should feature him in your offense, which they have been doing. NC Central getting his touches, and he is delivering very easily for the most part. That's why I'm sure you're going to see Reed try to avoid fouls and pick him up as much as they can, and he's back on the floor right now.
And Jimmy, not surprisingly, all 16 of their points have come in the paint. They trail Texas Southern by 4. Lob it up. And knocked away. Reed as a tree.
Yep, it's not that easy when he's on the floor.
Shake and bake. Jefferson.
I think that's going to be before the shot, though, right?
It is.
Yeah. Boy, is he quick.
Trey Jefferson, a dynamo.
Perkins, his second, team's second.
Perkins picks up his second foul. And it's team foul number 7, so 1-1 here for an 81% free throw shooter, Trey Jefferson.
We talk about a lot of his scoring where he's averaged 23 points a game this year, but he also had over 100 assists. So good combo guard in terms of setting people up and also being able to score himself.
Rims in. Play the official bracket game of NCAA March Madness. The Capital One NCAA March Madness Bracket Challenge is ready for your picks. So get your bracket started now at ncaa.com or in the March Madness live app.
So the two guys we thought were going to play well tonight have done just that. Texas Southern, this guy at the line, Jefferson, with 11 points, 4 of 7 from the floor. On the other side, Davis with 12 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. And both of them kind of doing exactly what you think they're going to do. One inside, and the other guy, Jefferson, making his moves from the outside, creating opportunities and getting to the line.
Trey Jefferson. He's a YouTube sensation as well with his mixtapes. Jefferson was being recruited by higher level schools, but there was an attitude issue, and that's actually popped up this year. He's been suspended 4 times by Mike Davis. We asked him about it. Coach Davis said, yeah, we do what we had to do. Each time Jefferson has come back.
And his attitude has been better.
And right now, he likes the attitude. They're up 22-16.
4 suspensions is on the high side.
It is. Jefferson driving, loses the ball, bounces around, out of bounds off of Guerra.
Yep.
So Texas Southern will retain it, up by 6. They played 6 eventual NCAA tournament teams in that first 13-game stretch. They are 0-7 all-time in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's one thing with those teams, that how did they schedule it?
Clark up top, it rolls down for Reed. Maybe not a highlight, but 2 on the board.
No, a little slip cut that trip. And you're right, just a little bit of a fumble on the way to the basket. Let's see if they get him more involved at the offensive end, because he has been a huge presence defensively.
Guerra, the push shot, no. Rebound knocked around and claimed by Clark. Get it ahead. Jefferson wasn't looking. Nearly intercepted, but knocked out of bounds.
Checking in for Texas Southern, 33, Robert Lewis.
So just a little drift. It's not even a screen, but it's a slip cut, meaning that when the guy comes with the basketball, the screener just vacates the area quickly without a moving screen.
Robert Lewis is in for Texas Southern, so now we have Lewis, Clark, and Jefferson.
You say Lewis and Clark?
We've got Lewis, Clark, and Jefferson. We have the Louisiana Purchase. 6.5 to go in the first half. How'd you do in history, Jimmy?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
24-16, Texas Southern. Rising up, it's Clark.
They are getting the shots they want. There's no question about it. Climbing to this 10-point lead, and watching them, you can just see the bounce, the energy, and all of these guys led by Jefferson out front, setting the tone.
26-16 Texas Southern. Can somebody else score other than Davis for North Carolina Central? That's the question. Davis, quick hands, Jefferson the steal. Jefferson accelerates, finds the cutter and a foul called. Bruce got hacked.
Yeah, nice trail by Bruce just then to stay with the play. Thought initially it was going to be almost like a 1-on-0 break. And here's that little flick. And now all of a sudden you think he's going to explode by himself to the basket. What a beautiful drop pass. But you notice that Texas Southern understands when Jefferson has the basketball to that point he made a moment ago with his 100+ assists. He will look for you if he gets in trouble.
Foul called on Brian Carey. Texas Southern trying to extend this lead. 5:51 mark of the first half, and we'll get a timeout.
Timeout, Texas Southern.
10-point advantage for the Tigers in the first 4.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Cadillac. Jiffy Lube. You can do more in a jiffy. And by KFC. It's finger licking good.
Now the battle of the bands here in Dayton. Both were at the practices yesterday, and I can say definitively both are very talented.
Very good. It's entertaining for practice.
Game summary, Texas Southern up by 10. They started slowly, but they picked it up 9 of 19 from the field. And Bruce gives the Tigers an 11-point lead.
And just so you know, Ian, I know you were thinking about this, that they don't play during every practice during the season.
Oh, they don't?
No.
My left ear is still struggling, by the way, from yesterday's practice. Here's Davis.
He stepped, I thought.
He did.
Yeah.
The travel.
Now, one of the things when you look at NC Central, we focused on Davis, who just traveled that time, but we talked earlier in the beginning of the broadcast about the point guard in the backcourt, Perkins and Gardner. They average about 19 points between them. They have 2 between them right now. Somebody has to find a way, and maybe it's Rivas to help out also as they carry the basketball and go the other way.
Derek Bruce, the turnover. Now, the key part, though, with Perkins and Gardner for North Carolina Central, they are freshmen.
Yes.
So this is a new stage for those two. Perkins out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Gardner from Hyattsville, Maryland. It's been all Davis for the Eagles. 12 points on 6 of 8 from the field. Jones to the rim, missed it. And the putback, Davis is there for the follow. So as mentioned, North Carolina Central, they've played 12 guys. They'll just mix and match, and they're searching for somebody to step forward offensively besides Davis.
Yeah, sometimes that can be difficult too from a player's perspective. If you're only getting a minute or two, you can't get your rhythm. But they must be used to it.
Ball fake, Bruce on a kick. Lewis lines it up. Off the mark. And a good box out on the inside by Rivas. Push up the floor. Pretty. The bank shot for Goldsmith.
And one of the other things that's helping them too, they're extending their defense a little bit. So kind of a little bit of a token. So Texas Southern looks up and says, all right, what do we have right now? Are they going to press us? It's just slowing them down a touch to make them play a little bit more half court.
Jefferson, beautiful stroke. Trey Jefferson from downtown.
Well, there's a reason he scores 23 points a game. Nice stroke, he can drive it to the basket, but also shoots it at 39% from the three-point strike.
And now at 999 career points after that make. He's got 15 tonight. Rivas off the mark, and it's Jefferson with the board.
Look at him stay in front.
Jefferson accelerates.
Good no call from the officials.
A lot of contact and a giveaway. Spin move by Goldsmith. On the break, get it ahead. Jones, wild attempt. And a foul called on a reach-in against Jones.
And it was actually Bruce who made that defensive save there to save a bucket.
North Carolina Central trying to hang in against Texas Southern. It's a 10-point advantage for the Tigers. Welcome back to the First Four, presented by Northwestern Mutual here in Dayton. You can download Bleacher Report to get breaking news alerts and highlights for your favorite teams. Get the free Bleacher Report app right now. Texas Southern is 7 of 8 at the free throw line. North Carolina Central is yet to attempt a free throw. And it's Dante Clark at the stripe.
North Carolina Central 0 for 4, also from the three-point stripe.
Dante Clark, 6'4", 195 pounds, out of Charlotte. He's got a 6'8" wingspan. Originally committed to Virginia Tech. Eventually went to UMass, and in his graduate year, taking advantage of the opportunity here for the Texas Southern Tigers.
Yeah, he can put up points in a hurry, too. He had 3 30-point or better games this season, but NC Central has to start getting this ball towards the basket again. I know the big guy's on the floor, but you have to challenge him and get to the free throw line.
It's a 12-point lead for Texas Southern. The fake by Guerra. Got clock at 10. Post up, Davis.
Running 2 guys at him now.
Now it's Goldsmith, the shake and bake. The spin, the floater rims in. He got a nice roll.
Yeah, basically had Reed kind of frozen underneath the basket that trip, because I thought Reed thought that he was going to pass the basketball to Davis on the left side.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. 10-point lead for Texas Southern. Jefferson, one-on-one. Bruce, ball fake, drive, rejected by Davis. Wiggins trying to get it across, his team down by 10. Wiggins gets the step. Wiggins, tough angle, tip-in is there, and it's Rivas.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Just keep driving it. Get your shot off. You have to make sure that you understand that there are 2 guys who can block shots in there for Texas Southern, but putting it up on the glass. Rivas, 24 rebounds in the tournament that they just completed. So this is a guy who can go to the glass and understand how to get to the offensive glass in particular.
North Carolina Central has cut it to 8. We approach 2 minutes to play in this first half. Jefferson watched by Goldsmith.
One at a time defensively, just to chip your way back into this.
Lob it up.
There you go, good step in.
Knock away, Reed could not secure it. Guerra on a skimmer.
Yeah, that's a tough bounce pass. Lucky he got it there.
Wiggins probing, now he'll take the defender to the outside, and it's Clark.
Yeah, Wiggins has given him some good minutes here in terms of his activity, especially with the basketball, driving it at people.
Junior from Richmond, Virginia, gives it up. Shot clock is down to 10. It's Goldsmith. Goldsmith finds a lane. Negated. Trayvon Reed.
Swadola.
Is that an official term?
I don't know, but it is now.
Shot clock at 7 for North Carolina Central. 1:39 left on the game clock.
They like to try to dip this ball towards the basket on occasion. Oh, they had Davis for a second on the slip cut.
Oh, they go way outside to Guerra. Guerra has to hurry. 4 seconds. Dish it. Wiggins misses from the outside, and rising up is Walker for the rebound. Texas Southern has gone just over 2 minutes without a point. Jefferson ends that streak, and he cracks the 1,000-point plateau in his young career.
You see how he understands, too, how late to get your shot off from time to time. Hold on to the basketball until the defenders have cleared, and he makes it look so easy when it really is not.
Wiggins gets Rivas involved, work the perimeter, and a touch foul called as Davis was setting up against Reed. Stay tuned, AT&T at the half coming up. Casey Stern, Seth Davis, Candace Parker, Brendan Haywood live from Atlanta with analysis of the first half. That's coming up.
That's only their 4th team foul, too, so no shooting.
Salmon in, he replaces Reed. 1:02 on the game clock, 20 seconds to shoot.
Not a bad time to get it and duck it down quickly. There's Davis positioning himself.
Guerra, too strong on a 3-ball.
Yeah, I think you duck it down to Davis on that one.
They are now 0 of 6 from downtown. Texas Southern 34, North Carolina Central 24. We're down to 45 seconds to play first half. Clark sizing up Guerra. Clark, he got bumped. Foul called against John Guerra, the transfer from the Naval Academy. It's number 2 on Guerra.
Yeah, Guerra was actually playing him, jumped his right hand to force him left. And went right by him, Clark did, and got his body back into the fray to get to the free throw line.
So more free throw attempts for Clark, who's 4 of 4. He's got 4 rebounds to go along with those 6 points. Texas Southern, 77.6 points per game this season. Another free throw here will put them at 36 for the first half. It's North Carolina Central that is off its normal pace. They're not hitting from the outside. North Carolina Central 0-4 from three-point territory, and they have no free throw attempts.
And a nice substitution, too, by Texas Southern just to get Reed back on the floor. He's anticipating, I think, that NC Central is going to try to get the ball going to the basket or post up. We'll see what they do after this timeout.
Timeout taken by the Eagles in a 12-point game in Dayton. It's a third all-time meeting between Texas Southern and North Carolina Central, by far the most important. The first two took place back in the 50s, and North Carolina Central 2-0 against the Tigers, but one of these two teams will win its first NCAA tournament game tonight. 34 seconds to go, 9.5-second different shot clock to game clock as we wind down in the first half. North Carolina Central with the basketball, wearing the light uniforms. They trail by 12. Wiggins makes his move. Hop step, high floater, tipped in by Davis. Reed got a piece of it.
Yeah, he did get a piece of it, but not enough, and it just kept carrying towards the basket to allow Davis to get an opportunity there.
Last possession.
No fouls to give here.
Davis now with 16 points. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Jefferson leads. Jefferson, what a fake! The tip-in doesn't go, and 1 half of play complete. Jefferson puts up 17 to lead Texas Southern. Davis scores 16 of 26 for North Carolina Central. A 10-point lead for the Tigers at the break. Let's check in with Ali LaForce.
Coach, what did you like about the adjustments your team made after a bit of a slow start to this one?
Well, we just got to move the basketball. We just kind of go one-on-one too much. And against this team, they play help side real well. They play like a pack-line defense. And so you just got to pass the ball quick and get some movement.
For NC Central, it was the Davis show. How do you make sure he doesn't have a big second half?
Well, we just got to dig in on him. We got to find out who's not the shooter, and whoever is not the shooter guy, go and dig in and double team him and make him pass the basketball.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, Ali, end of the first half in Dayton with Texas Southern in front, 36-26. We'll get you to our Atlanta studio for AT&T at the half. It's coming up right after these messages on Tru TV.
AT&T at the half is presented by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Trey Jefferson, the leading scorer in the SWAC conference for a reason during the year. Dynamic inside and out, even off the boards in the first half. 10-point lead for Texas Southern. 17 of those for Jefferson. It is
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Powerade. Power Through. Degree Advanced Protection. Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living. And by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge spring Black Friday deals.
We welcome you back. The first four presented by Northwestern Mutual on Tru TV here in Dayton. Getting ready for second half action with Texas Southern leading North Carolina Central 36-26. And rejoining you courtside, Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco, Ali LaForce, the rest of our crew. One of these two teams is advancing to Nashville. It'll be the first win in NCAA tournament program history. Impressions of the first half, what stood out for you?
I think we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, the pace for Texas Southern, and I think they kept their pace going, and Davis obviously was a featured guy down low on the other side, but Jefferson just really set a nice tone in his first half. 6 of 10 from the floor, picked up the pace and got it going early, and they settled in nicely and just continued to pass the ball. 17 points for him, and nice compliments. One guy with 8 points, the other with 7 to complement his scoring. Davis was just really tough down low. He got all the touches, made it happen. 8 of 10 from the floor. I think they're going to have to just feast on him in the second half, get him his touches, and let him go to work as much as he can.
All right, let's take a look at our Northwestern Mutual first half stats. 0 of 6 from three-point territory for the Eagles. They had no free throw attempts as well, and they trailed Texas Southern by 10. Their points came in the paint, courtesy of Rashawn Davis.
And Reed a factor defensively for Texas Southern with his shot blocking ability. So that's been one thing. Even though they've scored in the paint, they're still looking for him defensively.
So we start this second half. 10-point cushion for Texas Southern.
A little different look here. A little 1-3-1, looking for some traps from half court.
Switching it up, Guerra extends out. The drive by Clark, tried to give it up to the inside, and it's knocked away from Trayvon Reed.
A nice decision to come out with something different.
Perkins, killer crossover, but he missed it with a left hand, and it's rebounded by Reed.
You have to remember, though, there's a 7-footer in there, and unless you have a clear path to the basket, it's going to be some trouble.
Jefferson, drive and kick, working around the perimeter. Clark, the spin move, off-balance delivery, no.
Well, these first 3 or 4 minutes of possession's very important. There you go, good drive to the hoop.
Blast to the rim, Jordan Perkins accelerating to the hoop, and the lefty finishes to cut it to 8.
Yeah, just because you were down 10 points doesn't mean you have to get rattled to start the half. Just play solid basketball, make it happen. And I like the fact that they're back into this 1-3-1 defense and looking for some traps.
McClellan back into the hands of Jefferson. There's the double team.
You got to go wings occasionally.
Keep it on the outside. McClellan kick. That's a deep 3. Jefferson back of the iron, rebounded by Reed, and a reload. Lefty McClellan. No. Weak side rebound to Bruce.
It's like a football possession.
Clark rims out, and a foul called. It's a hack on the interior, and Reed will go to the free throw line. Davis picks it up. We check in with Allie LaForce.
Hey guys, Coach Moten told me the moment just paralyzed us. He said we had a different look on our face. Their length obviously is bothering us like it did on that last play we just saw. He said we're not really used to facing a 7-footer, so we're going to have to adjust with that. We have to realize, yes, this is a big stage, but it's just basketball. So basically just need to settle down in the second half.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that, Allie. It's hard when you have some young guys on the floor, and they've never really experienced this. So you get that first half, they're down 10, so maybe they can change things around. And I love the way they adjusted defensively already. We'll see what they end up doing, whether they switch it up a little bit more, go man-to-man a little bit, make Texas Southern think a bit.
A year ago, they were one of the oldest teams in the country. This year, they were one of the youngest teams in the MEAC.
Oh, is he tricky, isn't he?
Davis so tough to handle on the inside.
You know what he's doing? He's getting his body close to Reed, and what happens when you have an undersized guy who's 6'9", not to say he's a small guy, but he's neutralizing the height of Reed because he's putting that body right next to him and freezing him a little bit.
9 of 11 from the field, 18 points. Bruce goes cross-court for McClellan. McClellan, the drive to the offhand. Kanan McClellan, whose dad, Dr. Charles McClellan, is the athletic director at Texas Southern. He doesn't like sitting close to the floor. He'll go upstairs so he can emote and not worry about the people around him. Lines it up, Douglas. Zakari Douglas missed it on the inside. Davis is there, couldn't clean it up, but he is going to the free throw line.
I like the way Dr. McClellan came by yesterday as we were sitting here. There he is. And he pointed to your roster and said, this guy's the best player on the team. He pointed to his son. He said, I'm only kidding. Don't go with that. But it was funny, though.
Allie has more on Dr. McClellan.
Yeah, guys, notice that no one is sitting around him, well, at least not in the chair to his right and his left, because he said he likes to be emotional, and he gets very, very torn when his son's doing well, but the team isn't, and he's happy, but he shouldn't be happy, and vice versa. He said, I need a therapist to get through this basketball season. He also said he had an agreement with Coach Davis when he was recruiting him. He said, I'll never talk to you about his players' minutes. I trust you as a coach, and that has to be hard in his position.
Well, he's in his 11th year as the athletic director. He hired Mike Davis 6 years ago, and Davis has done wonders with this program.
It's amazing how nobody was sitting by him, though.
They know better. Jefferson, kick out. McClellan takes the baseline. It's Bruce. Rainbow three, no. And another rebound for Jefferson. Jefferson lines it up. Air ball.
You know, one of the things they're doing, Texas Southern, against this zone is they're playing a little faster. Good step in by Jefferson to cause the travel.
So turnover. Opportunity wasted there for North Carolina Central. Well, Lavelle Moten just trying to get his team settled down.
Yeah, and Coach Moten knows that you just cannot give away those possessions. You work so hard. And let's see if they continue to drive this 1-3-1.
To the rim, Clark. Snatched inside, Reed slams it down.
Well, difficult out of a zone when you have drivers from the perimeter like Texas Southern has. How are you going to find at the same time to block out a big guy like Reed?
It's their 13th offensive rebound, and the lead is back to double figures. Guerra feeds the post. Davis a back in.
Got to start hitting some shots.
Off the diagonal feed. Gardner, the jumper, no.
See, those are shots they need to go down. Gardner, you know, an average shooter, but that's one with the rhythm shot that a guard should be able to make.
Gardner averages 11 points. He is yet to score tonight. Directing traffic, Jefferson. Texas Southern not getting into it quickly here.
And last 4 possessions, they got into it very quickly.
Clark, the cross. Whoa. A foul called. Guerra is claiming that Clark extended the right arm. The officials believe the contact came before the extension.
Guerra is absolutely correct, but there's the foul right there. And by rule, that foul stops before he puts that elbow up at him.
That's his third. Zachary Douglas will sit. He's replaced by Rivas. 41-31, Texas Southern. Jefferson, the big first half. Ball fake. Here's Bruce. Shot clock is down to 7. McClellan walks along the baseline. Clark's jumper, no.
Better job of boxing out, too. But still, Texas Southern using both sides of the floor. Oh, be careful.
Guerra gets off the deck and reloads here for Perkins. The touch for Davis.
Yeah, you know there's going to be a double team, and Jefferson takes it away.
Jefferson scraping at it. Jefferson accelerates. Shot won't count. Foul before the shot. He may be strong, but the 2 will not go on the board. Perkins, his third personal. 10-point lead for Texas Southern. They were on pins and needles on Selection Sunday, and here they are in Dayton. That'll be the second half of our doubleheader coming up on Tru TV.
All the makings for a very competitive basketball game.
Texas Southern leading North Carolina Central by 10. Tigers have the basketball. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Clark, the spin, athletic play, comes up short, rebounded by Davis.
And this is an important possession.
Perkins gets it ahead, risky pass. And it's out of bounds, last touched by Texas Southern.
You have to believe after a timeout, NC Central said when they get the basketball back, let's run one of our better plays. And more times than not, that means that Davis is going to get the basketball down low for Coach Moten.
28 of their 31 points have come in the paint. Perkins setting it up. Rivas trying to get going. Rejected, but a foul.
He has scored 12 points a game for them on the season, so he's one of the guys who can score for this NC Central team. And it takes a little of the focus away from Davis. It allows them then come back to Davis maybe a possession or 2 later.
Foul called on Derek Bruce. Rivas, native of Panama, shoots it at 76% at the free throw line. No good. Our friends at Tru TV are here to remind us that March is Tru TV Awareness Month. Why, you ask? Because a week just isn't enough. Catch some of the best comedies in America all year round on Tru TV. 1 out of 2 for Rivas. In their wins, Rivas has shot 40% from three-point territory. In their losses, 28%. And Rivas is 0 of 2 tonight. 9-point game to the rack. Count it for Dante Clark.
Yeah, they've figured it out. They're extending that zone trap again, the 1-3-1. As soon as you get two guys to come out on the floor, hit somebody to the top of the key, and they have a driving opportunity.
That's 10 points now for Clark, the grad transfer. Perkins tried to get it down low. Davis hits the deck, and a foul called against Clark. That looked like it was going to be a turnover.
And here comes that drive, though. Once they get past the first couple of guys, you see two guys in the back right there, so nobody's there. It becomes like a 2-on-1 half-court opportunity in the paint because they've broken down the first two guys who are trying to get them a trap defensively.
3 team fouls on each side. Rivas short. He can't buy one. They've now gone 3 minutes and 45 seconds without a field goal.
No need to hurry.
Jefferson. A lot of movement in this half-court set.
Yeah, and they dribble the ball with a purpose, too. When they put it on the deck, got one dribble there to free up a shooter.
Corner pop, too strong from Clark.
If Perkins can get something going, get somebody set up for some easy action.
Perkins off the back of the iron, right back to that spot. Perkins drives, and he's fouled on the pass. So the 4th team foul against Texas Southern.
Texas Southern foul number
Only
20,
4 free throw attempts for North Carolina Central as McClellan picks up his first. 14 attempts at the line for the Tigers.
And Texas Southern only had 4 fouls in the first half, so matching that total, which means that NC Central has been a little bit more aggressive going towards the basket, getting some calls.
Lamont Walker checks in, and that pass was errant. Tracked down, though, by Davis.
That was a good play by Davis just to keep it alive.
Gardner's been quiet. Goldsmith gives up his dribble. Another entry, and this time Jefferson squeezes in to knock it away.
Yeah, it's a difficult angle. You have to watch, though.
Clark to the hole. He gets the roll and a foul.
Yeah, the entry pass down the other end is a difficult one to make, especially with Jefferson playing that weak side defense.
Texas Southern starting to pull away here.
And it comes down again, and once again, we've seen multiple guys for Texas Southern putting it on the deck and making good things happen. It's almost like a delayed break. They get it down the floor, they recognize that NC Central is not set up, and they continue to put the pressure on with the basketball.
Foul called on Goldsmith. It's a 14-point lead for Texas Southern. They've gone nearly 5 minutes without a field goal. North Carolina Central's in quicksand. Gardner, the penetration, and he missed it with a left hand. The lane opened up, and the freshman couldn't finish. Bruce, the flip shot goes.
A terrific ball fake in the corner, though, to free himself up along the baseline. The shot becomes the easy part, even though he was drifting to his right a little bit.
It is the largest lead of the night for Texas Southern, the champions of the SWAC, trying to advance.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC with over 11,000 total value on a specially equipped 2018 Sierra SLT Crew Cab model when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade. GMC.
So work is changing. We're told the robots are coming for our jobs, that the algorithms will replace us. But we are resilient, born to adapt, wired to learn. Sure, change is coming, but we will find opportunity. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Almost.
We're back at the first four presented by Northwestern Mutual. Largest lead of the night for Texas Southern as we send it over to Allie LaForce.
Hey, Ian, Trey Jefferson remembers playing in the NCAA tournament last year. He remembers it because of the way it ended with a blowout loss to UNC, and this year he's excited to show the country it's different. He said, I let the excitement, I let the atmosphere get the best of me, and this year I'm more prepared on to handle the emotion of it all. He said the celebration doesn't start now, it's just the beginning, and we have to earn it. And I'd say he's doing a pretty great job considering he has 17 points, has yet to miss a free throw, and is shooting 50% from the field. He's really turning it on.
Yeah, last year it was a 103-64 loss to North Carolina. The eventual champion lost in the round of 64. Jump shot doesn't go for Perkins. Another denial.
Big guys there again.
Goldsmith can't get a clean look. Jones, that is way off to the right. And the bank for Rivas. So finally one goes down for North Carolina Central. They're in a 14-point hole with 12:20 to play.
Can't knock the effort there, though, on the offensive glass, especially with big guy Reed floating around.
Jimmy, before that, they missed 8 straight shots. And then Rivas got the deuce.
Back to their man-to-man. They've switched that up a little bit.
They spread it. Clark over the top for 3.
Three-point basket, Dante Clark.
One thing that's impressive, though, with Texas Southern is the way they've adjusted to both 1-3-1. They broke that down in a hurry, and now they go back to a patient set, just look for easy shots in the offensive end.
Out of bounds. Turnover, North Carolina Central. The lead has ballooned to 17. Clark is clicking in Dayton.
Introducing Dell Cinema, technology with incredible color.
Remember, if you can't get courtside seats, make sure to get cooler side seats. Here in Dayton, 2 games tonight in the first 4. Texas Southern and North Carolina Central, 16 seeds going head-to-head. In the West region, winner will advance to Nashville to play the #1 seed, Xavier. Texas Southern, we talked about it. They started the season 0-13. We asked Mike Davis about the schedule. He said, if we could play the Houston Rockets, we would. We would schedule them. That's the only way to get better. There's a method to the madness, and it's worked.
It sure has.
Jefferson, a jumper for 3.
And it continues to work because they came in here ready to play. And they are really playing their game. And Mike Davis has them very well prepared. I think their mental approach was just as good as their physical approach tonight.
We asked him why didn't they roll through the conference schedule. He said they only had their full team for 7 of those conference games based on injuries, suspensions. He really felt they could have been 16-2 in the conference.
And Jefferson, you took little duck behind the screen, and he recognizes that. He's been playing just terrific basketball, putting up the numbers and just really convincing. 7-13 from the floor, 20 points. Doesn't turn the ball over either.
They lost 9 players from their 13-man roster on an NCAA tournament team last year. Jumper doesn't go for Goldsmith, knocked to the outside, claimed by Jefferson, and now Texas Southern will take its time with just under 11 minutes to play. They've got a 20-point lead on North Carolina Central.
Yeah, Central 16 for 50 from the floor. 32%, not getting it done.
Champions of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And the Eagles have really struggled on the offensive end. Jefferson tried to lob it up for Reed, and it bangs off the rim. Up ahead, and Jones couldn't hold on to it. That is turnover number 12 for NCCU. Lavelle Moten played professionally in Indonesia and Israel. Came back to the States and started as a high school coach in Raleigh. Eventually getting the job at his alma mater, North Carolina Central.
Put up 1,700 points, too. Pretty good totals.
They won a Division II national championship back in 1989. Moten wasn't on that team. Off the miss by Bruce.
Watch the big guy.
Yeah, Goldsmith.
You could just see it coming.
Couldn't attack Reed. Bullet feed. Jefferson lobs it up. And taken away by North Carolina Central. Ahead for Davis. Perkins.
He's thinking about it again, right?
Is he going to challenge Reed? He is not. Davis in a crowd. Dumps it inside. The flip shot doesn't go for Rivas. Working hard on the interior, and he banks it in.
Yeah, beautiful job, too, just going after it the second time. Missed the easier one of the two on the first attempt. Nice look down low for Davis when Reed was vacating the middle of the floor. He went out to the perimeter.
7 points now for the senior, Pablo Rivas. And it's 54-36, Texas Southern. Bruce couldn't find the opening. Clark coughs it up.
Nice squeeze defensively. 2-on-1.
To the rim, the layup for Perkins.
Jordan Perkins.
That's 6 points now for the freshman Perkins, who grew up about an hour from Durham, so stayed close to home for his collegiate career out of Greensboro Day School. 16-point lead for Texas Southern. Under 9 minutes to play. And Mike Davis taking the air out of the ball a little bit.
Yeah, and he knows this is an important possession. And North Carolina Central showing some life.
Walker, an air ball from the baseline.
This is a possession that might... What happened there? No foul?
And now they do get the foul.
Jefferson, did you see his look?
Jefferson called for it, but not called for it immediately, which drew the ire of the diminutive point guard. Third foul on Jefferson. So with 8:34 to play, North Carolina Central will trigger in. That is the 5th team foul against Texas Southern. Harney trying to bounce it inside for Davis.
Yep, picks up a foul.
And the towel just got tossed in the air by Lavelle Moten.
That was not because of the call on the way to half court. That was because of the angle and the bounce pass. Throw it to the side, to the free throw line, extend it, and then either take it right to the post or dribble one time to the corner to get Davis the ball.
They average 14 turnovers per game. Foul was called on Raekwon Harney. Texas Southern has not scored in over 3 minutes, yet they still lead by 16.
So that turnover was a bad one because they had scored North Carolina Central twice in a row. So if they could have picked up one more bucket there, maybe get Texas Southern thinking a little. That's a walk, I believe.
The pick and roll doesn't work. He travels. And another turnover as Salmon couldn't get it upstream.
I'm going to let that one go.
Well, no, if you didn't say anything, you would have let it go. The fact that you said something means you did not let it go.
All right, I'm not letting that go.
The curl by Harney.
Deflections and the steals.
And another turnover. They're piling up for North Carolina Central. That's 14. They're at their season average with 7:45 to play. Ball fake. Clark missed it. Rebound, Rivas. But we've hit a standstill on offense.
They're giving him chances to get back into this game. They just got to make some shots.
Harney short. Rivas grabs it and saves. They can't make one from three-point territory. They're 0 of 9. Harney drives in, just throws it up towards the rim, and it's rebounded by Salmon.
The towel was thrown again. That time to the floor by Coach Moten.
We will hit the 7-minute mark of this second half. Jefferson just dribbling out near midcourt. They'll play keep away here with 10 to shoot. In no rush, no points, over 4.5 minutes. And a foul given with only 4 seconds on the shot clock out near midcourt. The towel has been tossed countless times in the second half.
We could go down this water pond. What do you think?
One of the top scorers in the country, Trey Jefferson, averaging 23.5 points per game. Jefferson has controlled the tempo and the pace, and Texas Southern is in the driver's seat with a 54-38 lead. Game summary, not shooting it well, 39%, but they've made some threes. North Carolina Central is yet to make a tray.
Yeah, 0 for 9, and obviously getting to the free throw line has been a problem for North Carolina Central. Only 2 for 4. Match that up against the 13 for 15 for Texas Southern. You can see who's getting the easier points at the line and pretty much easier shots during the course of this game.
Shot clock is down to 10. 16 fouls against the Eagles. Jefferson on a spin. Jefferson rising up, but missing on the inside. Would have been a major highlight.
Yeah, not afraid to challenge 3 people at a time.
Right now it's 5 on 4. Jefferson late to get up. Goldsmith can't make the 3. And over the top foul against Texas Southern as Rivas had position.
Yeah, it might be Clark going over the top.
Dante Clark, his third, team's 6th.
That is team foul number 6. That's number 3 on Dante Clark.
Checking in for the
So
Tigers,
even though Texas Southern has hit
Reed
a drought, they've only lost 1 point off of their lead. North Carolina Central has not taken advantage.
Well, because they continue to struggle. Even when they get some shots, we've seen 2 or 3 shots going to the basket you thought might be layups. They couldn't convert on those, and clearly with the 3-point shooting at 0 for 9 that we just touched on, doesn't add up to a whole lot of points.
Texas Southern has gone 5 minutes and 8 seconds without a point. So they lead by 16.
Carolina Central scoring at about 73 points per game on the season, locked in at 38.
C.J. Wiggins in the game for the Eagles. Rivas lines it up. That 3 ball won't go. They've taken the collar. 0 of 10 from downtown. North Carolina Central is yet to crack 40. They average 72.8 per game. Entry, extra speed, Reed adjusts and he's fouled.
And the team adjusted too. Texas Southern out front. They saw a little bit of a blitz coming at them defensively. Each time that North Carolina Central has changed defenses on them, they've reacted fairly well against it.
Foul called against Rivas. That is his 4th. Trayvon Reed, 6 blocks to go along with the 7 points and 7 rebounds. Number 2 in the conference in rebounds at 8.8 per game. Tru TV Awareness Month continues Tuesday, 10:30 with Adam Ruins Everything presents Reanimated History, an illustrated journey through what the history books got wrong. Second attempt for Trayvon Reed. He was a football player growing up. I think he outgrew it. 7'2", 240. Originally signed at Maryland, was arrested and dismissed by the program. Perkins misses from long range. And Texas Southern with a 17-point lead, 5:34 to go.
See this little blitz at half court, try to rattle and get Texas Southern to take some quicker shots.
Out of travel.
Yeah, it worked. Rattled them a little bit.
Dante Clark called for steps. The issues have been on this side.
It sure has been.
For North Carolina Central.
Yeah, defense this half has not been all that bad for North Carolina Central, but wow, just can't get anything going. The big guys in the middle of the floor, so they're forcing it outside again.
A deep one doesn't go for Wiggins. That is 0 of 11 now from 3-point territory, and that's 30% overall.
Yeah, the 3-point shot is a great tool to get back into games if you can hit them.
Jefferson, 5 minutes to play. Jefferson, the dribble drive. Oh, missed it on a scoop. Jefferson keeps it alive. Jefferson lines it up. Bottom, it's a 3.
Why not? When you save a bucket, you get that turnover because you came back onto the floor after your missed layup.
And he's hit his season average, 23 points tonight for Jefferson. Rimming out for Gardner. A 3 ball off the mark. 58-38 with 4:18 to play. Jefferson sizing up Wiggins. Off the back of the iron, Davis with the board.
Yeah, Jefferson looking for the knockout punch.
All the way to the hoop. Doesn't go.
Here he comes again. What kind of energy does he have? It doesn't even look like he's broken a sweat yet.
Off the miss by Perkins. Texas Southern will set it up and take a timeout. 3:52 to play.
And I think Jefferson called that timeout just then.
Might be gassed a little bit.
A little bit.
San Antonio, here we come. Hey, Chuck.
Time to take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance.
And we'll take a look at Jefferson. Look at the numbers. 23 points, active energy, continues to play hard. And watch, this is a beautiful play here. He misses a layup. He dives after the basketball to keep it alive and then finishes it off with a long-range shot.
North Carolina Central 5-0 in the month of March after back-to-back losses to end February. Well, they just have not been able to put it together. Upstairs, Trayvon Reed on an alley-oop.
They just basically said on that one, if you think you're going to come back on us, we're going to drive one to the big fella.
Check it out. Wiggins misses from three-point territory, and the rebound taken in by Lewis.
0 for 14. North Carolina Central, a team that shoots it at 34% on the season from the three-point stripe.
So Texas Southern 0-7 all-time in the NCAA tournament. They are 3 minutes and 12 seconds away from their first win in the big dance. Jefferson, no look. Clark fakes and drives for two.
Well, he's got a beautiful ball fake on his jumpers from the perimeter.
18 now for Dante Clark. So their players are getting their normal numbers. North Carolina Central, that has not been the case.
And one of the things they have forced Texas Southern has really forced them out to the perimeter, obviously, with those shooting three stats. We just talked about the 0 for 14. Part of that is because of a 7'2" guy named Reed who's standing under the basket. So they haven't been able to challenge him. He's been blocking shots pretty regularly and has them thinking constantly, and has had them thinking constantly all night for the drive.
Another thing Texas Southern has done well this year is get to the free throw line. Rainbow jumper doesn't go for Lewis. They are 6th in the country in free throw attempts per game, 25.3. They're at 17 tonight, but they haven't been nearly as aggressive here in the second half. Off the miss, Davis goes to the offhand, and it's short. Shifting gears. Oh, he tried to slam it with the left hand, but it bounces off the rim. No look. Caught by Reed, creates space, and gets it to go.
Once again, throwing that body at Reed.
And our fans react because that was a long stretch without any points on the board. Nearly 7 minutes of game action. We are under 2 minutes to play. Jefferson drive and kick. Bruce the J. And rebounded by Goldsmith. Perkins. He finds Reed by himself underneath. 62-42 with 1:38 left.
Yeah, the effort's still there for North Carolina Central, but just too much gas on the offensive end of the floor, led by Jefferson. Texas Southern, they came right out, established themselves in the routine that they wanted to play, and I've been impressed with the way they've been able to play their half court. So they've mixed it up. They've gone against zones, they've gone against man-to-man opportunities. This guy's just a tough guy to guard because of his size and his speed.
A reach around there by Brandon Goldsmith. So it's going to send Trey Jefferson to the free throw line. Now for Mike Davis. He had it all calculated in his head how this would go. I don't care who you are. You lose 13 games to start a season. Your ego will be bruised no matter who the competition is.
Yeah, coach and players.
But Davis said it didn't bother him. He doesn't look at it from a wins and losses standpoint. He looks at it as a way, this is his philosophy, to improve his team against better competition and get them ready for conference action.
What if he won 13 in a row at the beginning?
Oh, they wouldn't be here in Dayton. Well, for Mike Davis, 18th year overall as a head coach, 6 years in Indiana, 6 years at UAB, 6th year at Texas Southern. Lost to Maryland in the national championship game with Indiana in 2002. Trey Jefferson can pad the numbers with 1:16 left. 24 for Jefferson, 18 for Clark. And Reed has chipped in with 10 points, along with his defensive prowess. Mike Davis having some fun with Danny Gavitt from the NCAA, and Bruce Rasmussen, the tournament chair and the athletic director at Creighton. If the officials getting on the same page here, there's one more free throw for Jefferson. We'll get an explanation what the stoppage was.
Administrative technical foul against Texas Southern. Alex Mills.
An administrative technical because number 44 was not in the book.
All right.
Texas Southern.
He entered the game, but not in the book. I would tell you that's the first time in my 21 years doing the NCAA tournament that I've seen that.
Ditto.
But now he's in the box score. And here's Jefferson's second free throw. McClellan will check back in for Texas Southern. It is Alex Mills who checked in, number 44. That'll do it for Jefferson, who exits with 25 points on the night. Final minute and change here in Dayton. Wiggins redirects. Flip shot, in and out. It's been that kind of night.
Sure has been. Even some of the shots, and there have been probably a half dozen of them that look like they're supposed to go through. Like that one just then, just hits the rim a couple of times and bounces out. Funny spins on some of the way these guys are shooting the basketball.
44 seconds left. Granger missed it off the Mills miss from the outside. And the final 30 seconds. Texas Southern, a year ago, got belted by North Carolina in the first round. First full appearance this year. A travel on Mills with 16.9 to play. Now, Mike Davis has experienced runs in the NCAA tournament.
Seems to be keeping Danny and Bruce entertained over there, too.
One finally goes down for Wiggins and the foul with 9.9 on the clock. But window dressing now for North Carolina Central. And for Lavelle Moten, they'll come back with the freshman that got some valuable experience. Rashawn Davis is going to be a senior, and he'll be a force in the MEAC. Final seconds. First NCAA tournament win in program history for Texas Southern. The Tigers are moving on to Nashville and a meeting with a #1 seed in the West, Xavier. Close relationship between Mike Davis and Lavelle Moten. And they share an embrace at midcourt. Texas Southern wins here in the first four. And it's double-digit wins for Texas Southern. They've made that part of the equation through the conference tournament as well. They'll play Xavier in Nashville. We'll have more with Allie LaForce when we come back. Jersey. Texas Southern gets the win in Dayton, 64-46 over North Carolina Central. Let's send it over to Allie LaForce.
Trey, congratulations on the win. What's it like to make history, my friend?
Caught me off guard, but it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling knowing that I brought history to the university, which is way bigger than me, which this win was way bigger than me. And the team, we kind of knew that coming into this game that it was battle of the HBCUs, and whoever won this game actually was going to make history. So it's a great feeling knowing that we came here and handled the task at hand, and I'm very excited for me, myself, and the university.
You started the season with the toughest schedule in the country. How did you see that pay off today?
Coach Davis told us from day one we had the toughest schedule in the country, and he told us that we were going to lose some, we were going to have some close ones, and that the goal was to get better. So by March 7th, we could come in here and we could play the best basketball, and I think we're doing that by now. That this win might have took away all those losses.
You're taking on Xavier next. What excites you most about that opportunity?
Just being able to continue my season. I know a lot of teams didn't make it this far and sitting home or recovering, getting ready for next year, and it's a blessing. And I thank God for allowing me and my team to be able to continue our season.
Congratulations. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
All right, Allie. Trey Jefferson, 25 points to lead the way, and Texas Southern is dancing into Nashville. The first four continue shortly with the 11th seed, Arizona State and Syracuse. But first, we send you back to our Atlanta studio right after these messages.